Welcome to Evolve Together with Empower People, where people are power. I'm Tiffany Joy Greene, MBA. Here, clarity cuts, humor heals, and purpose drives transformation. Join the movement at www.empowerpeople.org and connect with us on YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook, because when people are power, purpose wins. Welcome to Evolve Together with Empower People. I'm Tiffany Joy Greene, and today we're closing 2025 in a way that actually equips you, not just entertains you. If you felt like this year left you with more questions than answers, you're right. And that's why we slow things down here. Not to react, but to understand. Everything we talk about today is chosen with purpose, because power without clarity is panic. Let's get grounded and get clear. This week in American history is about visibility, confrontation, and redefinition. On December 19, 1776, Washington's Delaware crossing. George Washington's daring crossing marked a turning point in morale and momentum during the Revolutionary War, a moment where people needed evidence, not rhetoric, to believe in victory. On December 20, 1860, South Carolina secedes. This was the first state to secede, setting the nation on a collision course towards civil war, a reminder that division isn't law, and consequences of leadership, choices, echo for generations. On December 22, 1903, the Wright brothers' first flights continue. The transformation of flight wasn't a one-off headline. It was consistency, iteration, and belief that humans could defy gravity. And on December 24, 1968, Apollo 8 orbits the moon. The first humans to orbit the moon sent back the Earthrise photo, a symbolic moment when humanity saw itself from outside of its own frame. Each of these moments wasn't neat. They were noisy, confusing, contradictory, but they were watched, they were known, and they changed the future. Airstrikes in Nigeria. This isn't just geopolitics, it's about how a nation frames its proxy obligations abroad. Military action is real, and so is the risk of oversimplifying causes. We watch not just what happens, but why it's presented as necessary. When force is justified by narrative rather than proportion, the world loses nuance and people lose trust. Workers' strikes end in San Francisco. This has real implications for labor, dignity, and economic agency. Workers organized, resisted, and negotiated. That's the agency most headlines miss. The power of collective voice driving change. Bargains aren't born in silence. They're forged in negotiation and accountability. Markets and AI. Economic swings aren't abstract. They affect jobs, homes, retirement, futures. The AI boom is not just technology, it's reallocation of capital and influence. When machines do more thinking, people need to think harder about purpose. Times Square and America 250. Celebration or distraction? The 250th anniversary moment invites reflection about history, identity, and unity, and whether a fracturing culture can actually celebrate together. Symbols matter only when the people they represent feel included. This year on TikTok, older music took over, with nostalgic tracks being reused millions of times. One standout was Connie Francis's Pretty Little Baby, which became TikTok's most used global song of 2025, restoring a 1962 ballad to cultural prominence. This isn't just a musical trend, it's a cultural loop. The past isn't gone, it's remixing into the present. When people choose nostalgia at year's end, it tells us something about collective longing, memory, and identity. Culture doesn't just move forward, it reclaims what felt lost and makes it new again. Here's how to move forward with clarity, not confusion. 1. Turn your attention into intention. Recognize signals, don't just consume them. 2. Build capacity for context. Understand the why beneath the what. 3. Choose agency over anxiety. Being informed isn't the same as being activated. 4. Stretch historical empathy. Our story shows us friction is inevitable. Growth is optional. And 5. Engage local, act global. You influence where you are and what moves outward. Nothing that happened this year or this week landed by accident. Everything amplified is a mirror showing us what people care about: fear, defend, or reject. Understanding the signal is not surrendering to noise. It's choosing to lead beyond it. This has evolved together with Empower People, where clarity beats chaos and people remain the power. If this episode stirred something for you, that tension you feel but can't yet put into words, that's exactly what I help you work through on a Purpose Reset Architecture session. Links in the description. Stay awake, stay grounded, and let's step into 2026 with more purpose than panic.